I'm Bill Murray with your Weather Xtreme video for this Sunday, September the 13th. Meteorologist Brian Peters out at the Barber Motorsports Park this morning. He left the keys to the Weather Factory Porsche here, and we're going to take it for a spin. Let's look at some temperatures across north central Alabama this morning, and a cool change. It reminds me of a song by the Little River Band from the 70s. A cool change in effect across the area this morning. Temperatures generally in the 50s as we approach 8 o'clock. We saw 40s across North Alabama, 45 at Coleman. It'll be interesting to go back and sort through some of the low temperatures this morning across the Tennessee Valley. If you look back in northwestern Tennessee, I even found a 39 this morning. That's right, a 39-degree reading. Just a sign of changes to come in the future across the south. And looking at satellite picture, just some high clouds drifting across south central Alabama this morning, left over from the trough that you're going to see here in just a minute. That's over the eastern United States. Regional radars across Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee will be able to take the day off today. The only activity right now, some showers across extreme eastern Kentucky, southwestern Virginia, west and southern West Virginia. That's associated with that upper trough. Also some showers in the Big Bend area of Florida, approaching the Tampa area. That's the cold front, as we'll see in just a moment, the front that moved through here. Now, here is the big weather maker. That's this trough in the upper atmosphere. This is where the big jets fly up about 35,000 feet. You can see the axis of the trough extending from that upper level low over the Great Lakes region near Detroit, extending back down through Kentucky into northern Alabama. But it's progressing onto the east, pushing that front on out of the way, scouring out all the moisture across the eastern U.S., going down to about 18,000 feet at 500 millibars. You can see some very strong wind speeds, just like we saw at 35,000 feet over the east coast, but at about 18,000 feet, we see those strong winds over northern Alabama, northern Georgia. That's helped to cause that little area of high cloudiness that is pushing down into south central Alabama. But no clouds across the area today, thanks to much drier air. This is the 700 millibar moisture chart showing what we would see at the cloud level. And Alabama's going to look really good today as we go through time. The last 6 hours there, you can see drier air coming in on those northerly wind vectors. And that means a beautiful day across Alabama today. We're actually very near perfect. And here's an even better indicator of the drop in moisture. That's the precipitable water parameter, showing just about a half inch of moisture above us at any point in the column over central Alabama. That's pretty dry even for this time of year. Back to the west, you can see moisture beginning to return back up into Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas as surface high pressure that's near Little Rock, as we'll see with this graphic, begins to move to the east. We'll see that moisture returning even to the southeastern United States. There's the high near Little Rock. You see low pressure up near New York City. The cold front stretching along the coast. It'll be mainly off the east coast this afternoon. A little meager warm sector up there around Boston, causing some showers and thunderstorms in that area. As we superimpose the cloudiness, you can see the clouds in New England and along the east coast, extending down into Florida. But Alabama, mostly clear skies today. Now, looking at the temperatures, you can see that cool change in effect. The teal reading showing some 40s and 50s. All the way from the Great Lakes down into the deep south. You have to go back out south to the southwest to see really warm temperatures in the 80s and 90s in parts of Nevada, Southern California, and southwestern Arizona, much as you would expect. And let's look at some modeling this morning. There's the GFS showing the initial conditions. These are not the actual initial conditions, but what it projected from the 0Z run last night, showing that big trough at 500 millibars over the eastern United States. And as we go through time, you can see that trough lifting on off to the northeast. Little ridge of high pressure developing over the southeastern United States. We saw a little weakness there around midweek. That could help with some showers and thunderstorms develop again by midweek, as we see a little bit of Atlantic moisture thrown into the mix too. But you can see by Friday or Thursday night, this is Friday at 0Z, which will be Thursday evening at 7 o'clock. A ridge of high pressure extending out of Texas into Alabama, and that's going to be important in helping to deflect a cold front that will be trying to come our way. That little extension of the ridge stays there through much of the weekend, as you see, actually intensifies. And that, if that is correct, we could see some pretty hot temperatures by the end of next weekend. Look at the Bermuda high sending out in the eastern Atlantic. Also, of note there. We'll look at the tropics in just a minute too. But as we look at the surface chart this morning, you see high pressure centered near Little Rock, as we saw earlier on the analysis, and that's keeping us mostly dry across Alabama and the southeastern United States. And as we go through time, you'll see that happening, but that high is going to be migrating to the east. As a matter of fact, by late tonight, it'll be somewhere over southern Virginia, and you can see it'll be holding sway. It'll be a beautiful night across Alabama and the deep south. Temperatures will be in the 40s and 50s again across the area with clear skies and light winds. It will be absolutely delightful when you wake up for your Monday. So as we go through Monday, we stay dry, see southeasterly winds developing as the front or the high stays to the east of us. And still no moisture, though, to work with for us. If you're going to the Gulf Coast, this is an absolutely beautiful time of year to go to the beautiful beaches of Alabama and northwest Florida. But the Gulf is still rather unsettled. And around the ring of fire, around that big ridge of high pressure, there could be some scattered showers and thunderstorms along the beach this week. But don't worry, no real washouts, I don't think. Just a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms each day. Water temperatures beginning to trend down along the Gulf Coast, though. They're back in the 70s now at the Dauphin Island Sea Lab. And so not quite as warm and toasty as it's been, but still a beautiful time to go to the beach. But as we head on in through midweek, you can see a few scattered showers and thunderstorms beginning to develop across Alabama. Mainly the effect of the easterly wedge, that infamous weather feature that we have to deal with here in the southeast. It's not going to be bad this week, but it'll introduce a little bit of Atlantic moisture, and that means we'll have to return a chance of showers and thunderstorms to the forecast as that high begins to set up off the Virginia Capes. So this is moving through Wednesday night into Thursday. You can see mainly dry, just a few scattered showers and thunderstorms developing with the daytime heating. But we turn our attention to the northwest and look at that cold front extending from Chicago down to south of St. Louis and into southeastern Kansas. That front's going to try to make a move in here, but if the GFS is right, that eastward extension of the Texas Ridge will protect us, and that means that we could have fairly decent weather still for the big football games. Friday night across high school land, Friday Night Lights, and then for Saturday as well, as our college teams take to the field. We still could have decent weather for a couple of really big football games in the SEC that will be taking place here in Alabama. As we go through time, that ridge of high pressure holds in place, and as it does, that front becomes diffuse and washes out, but a stronger trough begins to move in, and somewhere around the end of the second week, around Friday the 25th, you see that big system trying to move in here, and that could mean showers and thunderstorms for that weekend and for high school football games, especially on that Friday. Looking at the GFS temperatures, you can see those nice 40s and 50s tonight. They'll be gradually ratcheting up. We'll be in the 50s Monday night. We'll be back in the 60s for the rest of the week. That dew points will be returning to the middle 60s, so it will not only feel seasonable in terms of temperatures, highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s, but dew points will be back in the middle 60s, and that's about where we feel uncomfortable. But look out there for like next Sunday and Monday. Temperatures in the 90s, according to the GFS. Printing out some highs around 94, 95 degrees. That's probably a little overdone, but it does remind us that you can see heat in September. Just a tenth of an inch of rain, according to the GFS. Looking at the tropical Atlantic, it's hard to imagine. I mean, it's really hard to imagine that this is just 3 days past the climatological peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, and we have nothing, no named storms in the Atlantic. The remnants of one of our storms, what is that? I think that's Grace. That's over the Antilles there, gone over the graveyard of the northeastern Caribbean. We've got a tropical wave now just about a third of the way across the Atlantic. That's got an 80% chance of becoming a tropical storm Ida this week, but it's no threat to land. It will turn to the north and northeast. Ahead of the islands, this disturbance out here south of Bermuda doesn't pose much of a chance of developing into anything, according to the National Hurricane Center. Now, that's your Weather Extreme video for this Sunday, September the 13th. Join us for a very special Weather Brains tomorrow night as we host David Clark, the president of the Weather Channel. Quite a get for us on the show, talking about changes at our favorite television network, the Weather Channel, of course, and we hope it'll be a really good show. But Brian will be back next week with your weekend videos. James will be back tomorrow with your regular Weather Extreme video. But for this Sunday, September 13th, I'm Bill Murray signing off. Have a great day.